Hi there, this is Marty from owingsart.com, and thank you for stopping by today as we take a look at these Dixon Ticonderoga colored pencils. Now the Dixon brand has stopped making the Ticonderoga core lock colored pencils, these ones we're looking at right here, but you can still find old stock at online retailers like eBay, Amazon, and others. So I thought we'd take a good look at these today. They've been around for, I think, maybe 10 years or so. I'm not exactly sure when they started making them. Hard to find a lot of information out on them since they've been discontinued. As a matter of fact, I think they're oil-based, but I'm not positive. I've got an email and a phone call into the company, but if you know, drop me a little note, and then I'll share that as well in a follow-up video. Like I do with all my videos, we'll take a look at the individual performance characteristics of each pencil, the blendability, erasability, and so forth, and I'll also do a drawing demo of these. So a few things about these pencils. They're made in the United States. They come in the 12, 24, and 48 pencil sets. Like I said, oil or wax will find that out. They have this core lock technology in order to prevent the cores from spinning in the casing or from falling out. Lots of companies have developed different ways of doing that, whether it's glue or cutting ridges or rifling the barrel or what have you, to prevent that from happening. That was a big complaint. But you can see here, they've got really thick, wide cores. I think they're 4 millimeters. And the color pigment is pretty good. It's not as outstanding as some more costly or higher end pencils, but these pencils are also affordable for an artist grade pencil. And I'll talk a little bit about what pencils compete with these or what's on par with these a little later. But first I want to lay out each of the colors and just take a look at the individual pencils and how they lay down the color. These tend to be very smooth and soft. So if you want a harder, sturdier core, these probably aren't the pencils for you. But if you like the softer, more blendable pencils, this might be just what you're looking for, especially given the cost. These are very inexpensive, as I said. Now, Dixon has been making writing instruments and pencils since about 1795. They're one of America's oldest companies. They joined forces with a company called Fila out of Italy, but not the sportswear brand, an art and pencil and art manufacturer in Italy. So you can look them up as well at the Fila website. If you Google that, just don't get confused with the sportswear tennis shoe company. Here I'm trying a little layering with this light blue here, and you can see I'll start with 1 layer, 2, then this is 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. I really like to try layering pencils out, especially because you can find out if there's any blooming, waxy blooming from the pencils as you do this, because the more layers you tend to put on, the more chance you're going to get some of that white film or blooming as it's called, if the pencil isn't made very well or it's not very high quality. So I got it up to 7 layers here, and that satisfied me enough to know that I'm not going to get a lot of blooming from these pencils, which is good. That's what you want to see. That should be your expectation out of the gate with a colored pencil. When you get a chance, maybe swing over to the Dixon website. You'll find out that they make a lot of brands that you're probably very familiar with, including Prang pencils. Those are sort of lower end pencils and student grade pencils, and they make a variety of like watercolors, markers, and things like that underneath all these brands. But also Lyra, the very fine German made Lyra Rembrandt pencils and others, and as well as the Ticonderoga graphite pencil, which every kid in America has touched at one time or another if they went to school. Here I'm just trying some erasability here, and you can see there are some remnants of the line work underneath after I've erased it, but that's expected, and like with all colored pencils, you're going to tend to get that. Blendability is a little different though. In the blendability department, I like to check for how well the colors blend underneath, and I shouldn't see a lot of line work left underneath, and with these I sort of do. So I'm wondering, how well these blend in the end, and I'll try color blending here. Some blue and yellow to see if I can get green out of it. And the idea here is just to see how well the colors blend. So far you know, you can see a little green in there. And by the way, I'm using a Strathmore 400 series paper in this sketchbook here. But yeah, you can see I'm getting some good green color here in the center there, blending the light blue and the yellow. Not real vivid, not great, not bright like you might find with some higher end pencils, but not bad at all. So now I'll get into the demo drawing here, and this is more of a portrait. I've been doing a lot of still life lately, and I thought I'd change it up and do a little portrait drawing here of a guy with a big smile on his face. So here we go. So I'll start here with the light outline, and it'll take some time for this portrait to develop. As they always do, you just have to have some patience as you go along. But right here I'm just kind of blocking in the major features, making sure that the face is laid out right. The eyes are in the right place, the nose is in the right place, and the mouth and all those things, and the ears. Those are the very basics of drawing portraiture. And I do draw some helpful lines, guidelines to help me with that. You can see they're very light there, but about the position of the eyes, nose and mouth, you know, so I know, generally speaking. And then look for features on the portrait that can help me, yeah, like what I would call landmarks. So where does the eye match up with relation to the top of the ear? Where's the nose in relationship to the top of the lip, top of the top lip, and the chin in relationship to the bottom of the bottom lip, and things like that, just to kind of map out the face as you draw it. And it's very helpful, and over time you kind of get a sense for it, and it just becomes easier and easier, but that happens with practice. I should probably mention that I'm by no means a portrait artist or anywhere close to being an expert at it, but I enjoy doing it. It's just really good fun, and I think it helps exercise your brain anyway, and it helps teach you in other areas. When you look at things artistically, you start to see different patterns and things like that that kind of help you just develop a skill at recognition and, you know, mapping things, and just being able to understand people and humans and colors and all these wonderful things in art that you can get out of just close observation of life, really. So here I'm using the Derwent blender to go in and blend a little bit of this color around, and you can see it's doing pretty good. I had to work at it quite a bit, but not too bad. And I'm all over when I draw, so don't pay attention to that too much. I mean, some people might say, hey man, you're crazy, you're all over the place. But so here's the Dixon Ticonderoga colored pencils, and then a look at, well, right here is some Faber-Castell lower end student grade pencils, and here's some artist grade pencils, the Renoir, Marco Renoir pencils that I reviewed not long ago. And you can see how vibrant those colors are in contrast to maybe some of the colors here with these Dixon Ticonderogas. There is a marked difference. You can tell that the pigments are just richer and deeper in the Marco Renoirs. But again, there's a little bit of a price difference too. Not a ton of price difference actually, because the Renoirs are very affordable, but there is a little bit of a price difference. Before I close the book on these Dixon Ticonderogas, I want to try a couple other things. So I really do need to sharpen these pencils up a little bit and see how well they sharpen, and because that's always a good test of how well the core is held into the casing and whatnot. So you can see here I'm not really getting any breakage or anything like that, and that's exactly what I would expect from a higher end pencil, or a pencil that calls itself artist quality. So no chipping or breaking of the core or the casing at all. And yeah, I like these pencils. I mean, they're good pencils, and they're not making them anymore. So if you can find them and get them, they're good to probably have in your supply of art pencils. I know I would definitely use these pencils. I just want to try one more blending thing here. I really like the fact that they put a sepia in this set. It's always interesting, the color choices, which I should probably mention quick. You get a black, a brown, a purple, a red, a light blue, a sepia, a green, a blue, a yellow, an orange, a light green, and a rose in this set. They're all numbered, and they're all, the labels are printed, the color names are printed right on the pencil, as I mentioned, and I'm always thankful for that. Well, okay, as we wrap up a look at these Dixon Ticonderoga colored pencils, let's talk just a little bit about the pros and the cons. So on the con side, I think blending. I expected a little bit more blendability here in terms of just getting rid of the remnant lines underneath. It would have been nice if they did a little bit better job at that. The other thing is the pigments aren't as deep or rich as I would like, or as comparable to real artist grade higher end or even mid-level artist grade pencils. And one of the other cons, and it's a bummer, is these pencils are no longer being made, because when I get to the pros here, I have quite a number of them. So let's get to that. So layering was excellent with these pencils. I found I had no blooming at all whatsoever with these. They're soft, they're smooth. The color is really nice, even though if you want to get the richer, deeper color, you're going to have to work at it by layering a little bit more. Still, you can get there. The color name is printed on the pencil. Again, kudos to Dixon for remembering the little details. That's always important and gives me more confidence that the product is well made overall. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts if you have any experiences with these Ticonderoga colored pencils. And don't forget to leave a comment or a question if you have them. I always like to get those and respond as quickly as I can. Additionally, if you have suggestions for art supplies you would like to see reviewed, don't forget to drop me a line in the comments section. I try to respond to those as well as and as fast as I can. Well, if you found this video helpful, please share it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. This has been a look at the Dixon Ticonderoga colored pencils. I'm Marty from owingsart.com. So long, everybody. Have a great day.